Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Have a very beautiful day going on here today. Lots of sunshine, albeit very dry. And I know a lot of you are following the events that have been happening on our neighboring island, Maui, right now. And the word mitigating is being used quite a bit lately around here. So mitigating, right out of the dictionary, having the effect of making something bad less severe, serious, or painful. And I'm going to take you a walkabout here and show you some of the mitigation we're doing here and how a lot of the thinking around that changes with every horrific event that we encounter anymore. So for those of you that have been following this channel for a while, you know this is not my original system. I originally had an old lead acid system in here, and then I built this system, and then that was it. And this runs the entire household very readily for most circumstances. But then I started mitigating some of my power supply and having some redundancy. And I have built backup systems to that original system to keep things like food storage good with a refrigerator and freezer, food, water, and shelter, always the main considerations for wherever you're living. I like redundancy, and many of you have asked, why do I have these separate little systems? And that is why I take comfort in redundancy for power. And with that being said about the redundancy of power, these things are largely for just a lot of comfort. They're not actually necessity for living, although I do like having extra power for the things that keep me comfortable, especially at my age. But I could get by without power. And I have mitigated and built redundant systems to keep myself in power. Like I said, the main things in consideration out here are like for a refrigerator and freezer, an extra freezer for food storage in case we ever get blocked in out here from any type of emergency event. And then, more importantly than power, is water. Now this water here that feeds into this storage tank, we catch it off the roof. This tank is about 5,000 gallons, and it's not quite full right now. And that's what everybody out here relies upon. We have no other water lines out in this area. If you live out here, you must catch your own water for all of your uses. Now we even filter this water for drinking, which I've showed you guys here. Reverse osmosis system out here in the greenhouse. This is where we make all of our drinking and cooking water. All that other water that comes off of that tank, we just filter with about a 5-micron filter for bathing and doing dishes and whatnot. But for everything that we ingest, we make sure we run it through reverse osmosis. So got the power covered, got the water covered, but that's only if it keeps continuing to rain. We are in dry conditions here. So far we're holding up. I know people that run much larger catchment systems than what I'm running out here. That's always in the back of my mind, is to maybe double the capacity to where I have longer storage in between rains. Now I'll say in the past 15 years out here, water has not really been an issue because we're in a very, very rainy part of this island. But that has been changing over the years too. It's not raining as much. And as dense as this jungle is, it dries out extremely fast when it doesn't rain. 15 years ago, it was not unusual to catch an inch of rain every day out here. That's changing, and it's changing pretty quick. I mean, if you can say in 15 years, you're really noticing that we are in more drought-prone conditions now. And I mean, just a few days of no rain out here, the ground gets crunchy, and it can turn this area where under normal conditions you couldn't light it on fire with a blowtorch, to where, you know, fire is a real threat everywhere anymore. And a lot of you have asked me to show a little more of the property and what it's like out here, and along the lines of mitigating. Okay, so this is a little road on my property that was cut in here many years ago. And just to give you an idea, now before this road was put in here, this is what it looked like, and this is how thick it is. And I'm telling you, there is no walking through this jungle at all. Not even if your life depended on it. You're not going to get very far trying to walk through this. It's impassable. It makes it like a natural fence between yourself and neighbors. But you're not walking through that. And that's just what it's like everywhere, and except for the roads that you have cut in for your own uses on your property. So it's like that. There's no running through there. So out here, we are relied 100%. If we had to escape this area, we have to go out on the roads that are established. And those are few, very few roads that lead out of this place. So in the event of a fire, bad hurricane that knocked down trees, we would be completely trapped, and no emergency vehicles are going to be getting back in here during an emergency. So we are really left on our own to figure out some mitigating circumstances of any eventuality. Now there's a little patch. I could go about 30 feet out there and then hit another wall of just solid jungle. So, and I'll take you out onto the road and show you the considerations about that as well if you had to try to drive out. So here I am on the subdivision road, and I can go this way is one way out. Or I can go in that direction, and that's the other way out. Now in the past, hurricanes have rolled through here, knocked down enough trees to make that way impossible to get out of until everybody with their chainsaws showed up. We are on our own out here. Nobody comes to do that for us. And this was the only way out. This was a much further way out, and ultimately it will get us out to paved road, although it does take quite a while. And one of the ways to get out to paved road is to go right down there about a mile. I mean, where you would turn right. It's many, many miles to paved road and any kind of emergency services. And the other would be to have gone left. Now that right passage was blocked. I was able to make contact with people down here, and we kept apprised of the situation, and nothing but chainsaws to get us out. But now with the horrible events we've been watching over on Maui, fire's a different beast. And if it got ripping through here, I don't know what we would do. And like I say, if you look, here's the road. You're not running through any of that to escape, ever. There's just no way. It's too thick. There are huge, huge holes out there that are covered up by the jungle, old lava tubes and whatnot that you could easily fall into, and that'd be the last you'd be seen of. So yeah, how to mitigate this? So I do keep emergency radios back in here, especially when we know there's an emergency situation going on. One time I got up on my roof when the lava was getting close to this area many years ago on one of its eruptions up there at the Kilauea volcano. And up on my roof, I could see where the forest was burning. I could tell by the helicopter shots that were keeping us apprised of the situation, of where it was moving and how fast it was moving. And did make preparations, started loading the truck up with things that you thought you might need if you had to leave and could never get back in. So yeah, the water is going to be a real consideration because we are all in drought conditions out here. That's new. So I'm thinking about that. The fire is a tricky one. You know, the fire ever got taken hold out here, we're going to need to be notified of that as quick as possible. I believe they would. They'd start flying helicopters around here, and you might not have any time to do anything other than just hop in your vehicle and get going. And all it takes is what Maui is going on with right now to make you start thinking real deep about these things, no matter where you live, because I mean, that was a town that had everything, all the amenities, everything you could possibly imagine, right? A little modern town wiped off the face of the earth. And out here it's different. So yeah, at this ripe old age, I'm still considering all these mitigating factors to consider for the world we're living in now. The world we are living in now. Yeah. All right, guys. That's my 2 cents on mitigation. And we're constantly reevaluating those things all the time out here. Aloha. Yes, sir. Oh, and one final thing, guys. I am going to be getting to a lot of your comments. Been very, very busy out here the past few days and few videos. It's always my intention to get back with you guys. And after a little more mitigating today, then I am going to sit down and start chatting with you guys. I really appreciate all your comments so much. Helps keep me motivated. Yeah. All right.